Good morning. I've just taken the number of this telephone that we're going to have a little look at. Now I've been upstairs again, and here we have a phone from Belgium. While it's open, I can take various views. There's your circuit diagram. Sorry, I can't make it clear. It's actually stuck onto the case. And while we're looking at that part of the case, have a little look at the dial. This is a typical Ericsson type dial. These were well made. I can show it working. Difficult using one hand. Hold the phone and try the dial. But that is the function of it. You've got your off normals and the pulsing springs. Slightly different to what we normally see, but I'm pretty sure this is an Ericsson type dial. If it's not and I've made a mistake, someone will hopefully correct me. And now, let's get back to what I put up yesterday. I put up the Western Electric 302, pictured on there, my little crib sheet, which was known as the Lucy phone. Now, this phone is very similar, and look at the innards, what's in there, beautifully made again. Note that we've got a spring, a bias spring again, which is used to enable the ringer to work nice and cleanly. You've got various capacitors. You've also got a date, 1957, a date I remember well. I was at school, and in 1957 all the advertisements was about Heinz. Enjoy 1957 with Heinz 57 varieties. I can remember that as if it was yesterday. Well, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This was when this particular phone was made in Belgium. It's also got the earth button. You've got your induction coil and capacitors. You've got two capacitors there. Your cradle spring contacts. It's slightly different to the 302 which I put up yesterday, but looking at it quickly, you'd think that this was in fact another Lucy phone, and obviously based on the same design, because Belgium Bell was a branch of the same as the American Bell, or the Western Electric. I know it undergone some changes in Europe, but this particular model, which I had a job finding it, but you look up British telephones on Google, and it's a very handy little website, because it shows you loads of phones, not just British phones, but foreign phones. And on there, there's a little write-up about this particular phone model, which is 2749/RB AD 52162. As I said before, this was made in 1957. It has a curly cord, but it's a cloth cupboard. It's a curly cord, and if you look at the handset, we've got an identical handset to the Western Electric. There's no name on it, but it's the same handset or the same design, made out of Bakelite. This phone, I think, is Bakelite. I believe they also made them in metal. There's the front of the dial, GS numbers. As I've said before, this looks very much like an Ericsson dial. That, believe it or not, is more or less all I can say about this. It terminates in spade contacts. Whether it was at one time fitted to the Belgium type of plug, I don't know. But that's what this one's got. It's nicely laid out. Nice clean terminals. You've got yeah, everything's marked up there as well. It's very good. The bells are, looking at them closer, 500 ohms a pair. Where's the other one? Can't find the other one. There's the other one. 500 ohms. That AP number, I believe, is the actual circuit diagram number. Well made for phone. Typical of the year 1957, or should I say Heinz year. Yeah, excuse me going off into my little bits of history and chats. But there we are, there's the phone. A copy, if you like, of the American Western Electric 302. Don't ask me where I got this from. As I said yesterday, I picked up loads of phones when they were cheap and people weren't collecting phones. I was looked, I suppose, as a bit of an oddity. Well, I know I've been called that many times. Who would grow cacti? Who would keep light bulbs? Who would hate sport? And let's face it, I hate sport. And talking about sport, I tried to set up my new satellite receiver. I know I'm thick when it comes to things like that. I've followed they call it a wizard. It is, it tells you what to do, but it roughly tells you what to do. I obviously didn't do it right. I managed to pick up the satellite that I was already on my old satellite receiver, and by screwing the coax into the new one, it brought that up. Of course, it's in brilliant high definition. This was the main reason for changing. But unfortunately, I can't make it work on the rotator. It just doesn't work, so I'm having to look further into that and finding out. The suppliers of the phone, in my opinion, are very, well, one that sort of lists it as being the agents in England were completely unhelpful. They just didn't want to know, which is typical. And unfortunately, the blurb that appears on YouTube more or less indicates how clever the people are in setting it up, but they don't tell you how to set it up. So if I ever get this working, well, it is working at the moment, I can watch my German channels, which is rather fortunate, so I can still listen to my Bears and Rares, which is quite a good antique program, and occasionally they show the odd phone. But anyhow, that is what has happened so far. So if anyone's got an idea what I'm doing wrong, it's a Chinese receiver, Z-Gemma I think it's called. It's the most peculiar name, but there again, it's beautifully made, I'll say that. It's beautifully made, small, but if I can get it working perfectly, it will be a real plus. But at least I can get reception to the German channels on their Astra satellite. Anyhow, enough of me chatting away. As I said, there's the phone. I've had, as I say, quite a while. I don't know where it came from. I might have even brought it back from the continent. Honestly, don't know. Anyhow, thanks again. Sorry I was going off at a tangent, which I often do. Put it down to my age. So thanks again for watching. Thank you.